I think just as a start off, what I wanted to do this afternoon is just talk about some of the benefits of technology and how we communicate. It's obviously got lots of benefits. It saves money. You don't have to outsource everything to a design agency and so on. It's good for the environment. It's good. You can get analytics from using technology, which you can't get from ink on paper. But it does present some challenges. Because if we're going to empower people to create digital content, they might do that. I designed that as well. It's not bad. I couldn't get the whoosh effect. I can't remember how to do it. And then we might even get that, which again is, I think, a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I've sat through presentations that have looked a bit like that. And when somebody says, you probably can't read all the stuff on this slide, you probably shouldn't have done the slide. So anyway, I just really wanted to flag up some of the potential threats to letting people design their own presentations and so on. And the threat becomes bigger, the bigger the company. I had to hide that from anybody in the office because they thought, what the hell are you doing? But anyway, it doesn't matter. Got away with it. So I mentioned my name's Henry. I was one of the founders of PageTiger. Recently, we've redone our strapline, Your Content Better. It's kind of a bit short and punchy. And in this session, I really want to show you, hopefully give you a bit of inspiration, a few ideas. Obviously, I'm going to be showing you the PageTiger system, or bits of it, and hopefully it'll give you a bit of inspiration. If you don't use PageTiger, it's an online design system. It's been created for non-designers to use. It's very sophisticated, but most of our customers, and that's going to sound a bit rude, they wouldn't be amazing designers if they were in a design studio. So we've managed to put something in the hands of non-techie, non-designer people to be able to empower them to make something really good and avoid some of those previous disasters. Let me just get through that. We have around about 600 organizations using PageTiger, and they're using it primarily to communicate internally, some externally as well, and can basically be used for absolutely anything. However, there are some three key concerns that they have come to us with as they roll out PageTiger for communicating across their sort of global audience. The first is they need to find a way of protecting their brand. Those disasters I showed you earlier on, you wouldn't be that proud if your CEO got up and sort of presented that. So having a way to protect the brand, therefore, if somebody here is using the tool, whatever they're doing is going to be on brand. By on brand, I mean fonts and colors and so on. So that is really, really, really key. But also things like imagery. You might want to control the imagery they're using and so on. That can be just as damaging. Video possibly as well. You still want to empower people to be able to be creative, but controlling or protecting the brand. If somebody's doing a presentation, or document, or whatever it might be, you also need to consider the content. If I was an insurance salesperson writing a presentation to come and sell Maxwell here, some life insurance, there will be things in that presentation that I should not remove legally because they have to be legally compliant. It goes for letting people do their own presentations. You need to be able to make sure that your messages are consistent and the content is compliant. So it might sound like we're really kind of putting people in handcuffs and saying, well, you can't change how it looks and you can't change what's in it. But other than that, it's totally over to you. The final thing that our customers want to do is look at ways that they can use interactive content, tests, polls, surveys, awarding badges. Many of the things that we're kind of seeing here today at LT to engage readers and track who's engaged, who isn't, who's doing what. But again, don't forget we've got people using the system that aren't particularly technical. So we need to find a way of making that all come together. Can I have audio on the... Let's start again. Can I get the audio on the VT? Okay, well, we can read the words. So, no, the audio's in. It doesn't matter. I could sing it. Basically, Tiger Genius is a way that people can take a core publication, a core document, and allow people throughout the business to be able to style it, to change the content and so on, but locking. So departments can add content to a master document, but you can control what they can and can't do. We're not totally dependent on the video without the sound. I'm going to show you what this actually means. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So you can see there that you could have one core thing that can then be shared out through other departments, but with the central control controlling what those people can do. Okay. So, not enough hands. Okay. So the processes that you can use. I mean, with PageTiger, you could just go and make a presentation or a document and send it out. But the way most of our customers are now using it to control what's happening is this kind of process. So in the middle, we have the sun. In the middle of the universe, we have the sun, and that is accessed by the controller. A controller is somebody who can do things like set the brand designs. So that might be the colors and the fonts. But it could also be looking those key components. So, for example, if the controller is creating an insurance presentation for me to present to Maxwell further down the line, the controller, he or she, would be able to say what should be locked and what's going to stay there. So they know that whatever they've put in there is going to be, you're going to see it. Might even want to clarify that you have seen it and understood it and accepted it and so on as well. So that's the controller. They make a document in the middle, but then allow it to be passed out to different accounts. Typically, that might be take an account like Experian, the credit rating agency, from their head office in Nottingham. They would make central things, but that is now used for onboarding new employees in every country in the world. But it's mastered from the center. Administrators can then make a customized version of the document, whatever it might be. They could make a document and send it to Maxwell, or they could allow it to be given to authors who would personalize it for Maxwell. Okay? And those are the satellites going around the little planets there. So in a perfect flow chart, origination, mastering, customizing, personalizing. So from my insurance head office in Cincinnati, it's going to end up with Maxwell, and they would know. Incidentally, when we come onto the reporting, they'd also be able to see if you looked at it, accepted it, how many pages you looked at, and so on. So give you a couple of other examples, just so you can get your head around it. One of the, I'm not going to go political, I'm not sure who it is, but one of the political parties are looking at doing something like this by having a party magazine that could then be, forget the middle bit, adapted by the potential MP or the candidates and so on. But they've locked what's going to be in there. So if there's some stuff about, I don't know, Brexit or whatever, you're not getting these people putting their own interpretation on Brexit. Does anybody want to ask any questions, by the way? Feel free to shout anything. No? Making sense so far? The video was good, but... okay. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to start with this chappy here, the author. So the author is somebody who has had a kit given to them to access. They log on to their PageTiger account and they see a screen and they can create something. So we put a kit in here. It's actually part of a staff handbook updated for that great topic, which I thought would be the most popular topic to discuss today, GDPR. Just can't get enough of it, really. And the idea here is this company, which is a fictitious brand, wants to make sure that every member of staff is compliant with the GDPR policies, understands the key pledges of the company, and has accepted them. Okay. In this instance, I'm an author. I'm going to make this, going to set this up for one of my staff. I'm going to use the kit. I'm going to put it in demonstration documents. I'm just going to call it 123. It doesn't, 124 even. Okay. Now, if you think this is the front cover of the Employee Handbook GDPR supplement, and we want to personalize it for an individual. I'm not picking on you, I promise. So I'm going to personalize it for Maxwell. Which country would you like to be working in? UK, okay. Trying to do this one-handed is fun. Okay, so Maxwell Rose and his UK, because you might want to have different regional versions and so on. Okay. So what it's doing is it's going to personalize this for him, but we've decided which bits we're going to, like, bear in mind I'm the department manager, I'm Maxwell's boss. I can then change certain things. So on this page, there is a picture. That's not me. I'm going to remove that picture. I'm going to upload a new picture, and here's one we did earlier. And I could change my name, and I could change the things that maybe Maxwell's or our department holds. Data about staff or customers or whatever it might be. I'm not going to type this because holding the mic is virtually impossible. And then I'm going to finish it. So we would now email this to Maxwell using the system to say, here's your new GDPR updated handbook content. And then when Maxwell looks at his publication, bear in mind this is all on the internet. This is, there's nothing on my computer. This is all cloud-based. So here's your publication. I had nothing to do with the choice of picture or the fonts or the colors or anything. That was decided by people far higher up the food chain than me. We put the picture in. There's a bit of video playing. Again, I didn't know anything about the video. Maxwell could vote as to whether or not he thinks he's a GDPR genius or disaster. And then, we didn't even know this was in here, then there's a test to make sure that Maxwell's understood all of the 5 pledges. And provided he has ticked all 5 of the pledges, then, so we go through the pledges, and then once he's ticked all 5 of the pledges, he'll be able to download his certificate. I'm just going to jump it because I know that. There's a little test. What does GDPR stand for? Do you know the answer to that one? Yep. He is a certified GDPR expert, and now it's going to produce his, give him the option to download his certificate. But if you see the amount of work, as an author I did to do that, it wasn't that difficult. So, and there's your certificate, which you can hang on your bathroom wall or whatever. Okay? So at the low end, an author personalizes something, and it could be a presentation to somebody, it could be all sorts of things for an individual or an individual audience. I'm now going to show you. Administrators can do more because they can create the thing that the administrator is going to use. So just very quickly, I'm just going to show you what an administrator might do. Didn't mean to go there. I've logged out. Back in the room. Ding, ding, ding. Gino. Okay. There's a few other publications here which I'm going to show you. Let's say, let's take the master thing that thing came from, the GDPR compliance test. If we decided we want to change it to stop, because I'm now an administrator, if we wanted to change it, the administrator can go in and start doing all the changes and swapping images and adding more pages and so on. So, for example, dropping images in, changing the text, and deciding what the author is going to be able to change. Like so. I did mention right at the start, the key thing is controlling the brand. Right up at the top in terms of the solar system. Here are all the different themes. So if we now want to theme this for the NHS, let's say, and this is just in a sort of dummy account, we can see now that it will all be in NHS colours. It's not me. Oh, sorry, that's good. So within the NHS theme, there's the option of a green button or an orange button or a blue button or whatever. So you can choose that, but all within the brand guidelines. And if if an administrator wanted to add more pages, when we go to the library of pages, and there are several hundred, every single one of them will be themed for the NHS. Okay, so that is how we've controlled the content and we've controlled the brand. And of course, the presentation that I'm using could be used in exactly the same way. Just go back to the page here. So I'm just going to show you a few different examples. Now, we don't ever show any of our real client content. It's generally internal, and we just don't want to sort of go there. So, no, we never show real content, but we do an awful lot with people like B&Q. Bring on Hatter's Home and Gardens, which is a fictitious brand. We do a lot with Burberry, Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, ASOS, and so on. But this is Gino Daniele, which is the one that we just did. Finer food stores, we work with Tesco's, patient briefing, lots of NHS, and so on. So, just going to show you some of the different uses, offers of employment. Come just before doing the policy pack. Similar type of thing, and you can see here the various interactivity. So, for example, a survey. There's a new employee, it's a job offer, and we want to get some feedback from them on how they felt the interview process went. They can find out about their roles, their responsibilities, the benefits. There's the offer of employment, but they can't go any further forwards until they've actually accepted the job. So you put controls in, so you can't get to level 2 of the learning program until you've completed level 1. You can't get the joining instructions until you've accepted the role. And once you have accepted the role, thank you, you'll now be taken to the next page. But this, again, could have been personalised for each individual employee. A lot of people use PageTiger for offers of employment. It's a very, very significant usage. We did the Gino Daniele one. Finer Food Stores is interesting. Every single publication in here, in their intranet, has been created using PageTiger. So all of these different elements and building menus and so on. But likewise, administrators and authors might just go in and add bits to it, contributing into the central intranet area. And there's all sorts. You just go to finerfoodstores.com, you'll see there's all these different areas, pre-boarding, HR, social media policy, events, Christmas cards. This was a very good one, actually. It was, as I say, Finer Foods fictitious, but Accenture did this in December, and it really was good. And a lot of people, because we made a kind of copy of it, which they were okay with, it was actually an interactive advent calendar. So every day during December, it opened up another thing, which was quite fun. What's happened with the internet? I'm in a dead zone as well. I might change my internet connection. I think it's because I'm on the wrong internet connection. I had no internet connection. Okay. Yeah, there you go. It's fine now. So you can see there the different days of December, and then when you click on a different one, you would see a different thing popping up, a winner food hamper and so on. That was a very popular one. And again, that could have been adapted for each department. Everything I've shown you so far has been around what an administrator and author can do. What about the actual origination? What about if those pages just aren't right? You want to do something freehand. Your central controller wants to do something from scratch. Something like this is totally editable. It's a company magazine, totally editable, but the fundamentals are the same. that it's interactive content to make things more engaging. And if I'm not going to go through this in any vast detail. Suffice to say that absolutely anything can be changed within the design environment. So I've gone now, too many whip into there. And if I go to edit the city life example, you can see here I've got total access to start putting pictures in and possibly creating something like the PowerPoint I showed you right at the start of the session. So I won't do that, but to be able to just drop in images, blank pages and so on. But still the same applies. That could be made. It could have the various elements within it locked and unlocked so that when it hits Maxwell, he will just see the various bits. People like Coca-Cola use the magazine for their regional offices around the world, so people could just change a story or two, or possibly even translate the whole thing, give them access, not to change the design. If we said, well, that picture, and I'm the controller, so I say, that picture is locked, thank you very much. I just lock the position, lock the content, and nobody's going to change that. It's locked wherever it goes in the world to other designers. Okay, so basically, I've shown you I'll find where I am now. So a few ideas there. What we do have for our most popular 8, some white papers here, which gives some hints and tips, and our stand's just there. So feel free to go and pick some up. There's things like presentations, information packs, surveys, and so on. I would like to just show you this really. Last week, actually the week before, start of the month, we thought we'd do, I came across this thing that's a bit like TripAdvisor, but for people delivering sort of software, this type of thing. So we'll just invite some of our customers to say, we didn't actually think about the risk of inviting your customers to say what you thought about you, but hey-ho. And in the last couple of weeks, there's one that came in today, I think, June 11th, maybe yesterday. Great tool for non-designers, superb, unrivaled. And if anybody's here that actually wrote any of these, thank you so much. But you can see there that it's a pretty robust statement for the system. And just to wrap up this session, we're actually offering everybody here the opportunity to use PageTiger for free, no credit card, nothing like that, just to use it. What we will give you, should you wish to just fill in the application, and you can do it at TigerTry.com or pop over and see one of the team here. We'll create you a control account. We'll create you a theme. We'll set you up with 1 or more trial accounts, so those themes and things will be copied down. We'll give you the templates that you'd like to try using, which will obviously be branded for you. We'll set you up with 1 or more administrators. Those administrators can make TigerKits. You could have analysts who can see the reporting, use the layout library, and have authors. So if anybody would like to avail themselves of having a go with PageTiger, then you may be our guests. Would anybody like to ask anything at all? No? Okay. Well, hope you found that useful. Have a great day. Thank you for attending. And as I say, we're just there if you'd like to come and book up for a trial. Have a good day.